reveal what the 100th Action Force item will be. Hey Action Force fans, thank you for checking out this new series. This is something very, very exciting. One day I was looking around thinking, wow, how many items have we done for Action Force? I said, looks like we've got to be close to 100. And I think we are. So this series is going to be sort of a retrospective of looking back at all the items that we've done, every Action Force item, and we're going to do a countdown or a count up from 1 to 100, where I reveal what the 100th Action Force item will be. So we're going to start with Series 1, we're going to go all the way through, and we're going to touch on every single item, maybe a couple cool stories about it, and give you a little walk down memory lane. So let's get on into Series 1. All right, gang, we're going to start with items 1 through 20, all from Action Force Series 1. So for those of you that have been here since the beginning, you know that Action Force started as a Kickstarter and went very well. And Series 1, while, ramped up into production, got hit during COVID. So it delayed a lot of the production for Series 1. So the first item I'm going to be talking about wasn't an item that was part of the Kickstarter, but was the first Action Force item that I got in your hands. And it was a short run, but man, did it fly, I wouldn't say off the shelves, I'd say flew out of my basement when I had the office down there and I was packing these up. It is the Crimson Shadow Prototype Armament Set. This was the first ever physical item that I got in your hands. And it was something where while we had the delay with COVID and Series 1 was in production, I wanted something to get out to you guys, let you know, hey, thank you for being great fans. Here's a little taste of what we have to offer. So we did all the weapons that were part of Series 1, and we molded them all in black, just like a prototype set of weapons. And you guys love these. You got them, you painted them up, you put them in your figure's hands. Like, these were great. And they're kind of like a sort of coveted prize because, we only did a limited amount of these. So if you got one of these, you're one of the originals. But it was cool. It had this little, header card with a little bio about, what Crimson Shadow was doing. So this is definitely a cool item to look back on. But that's it, item number 1. Up next, we have number 2. We have the leader of Action Force, Condor. Condor was basically our main hero of Series 1. Very cool figure. Definitely one that is up there as one of my all-time favorites. He was great. It's weird looking back at some of these Series 1 packages. Really brings back some memories. But there you go, number 2, Condor. For number 3, we have Bone Collector. Bone Collector was the first ever figure that I designed when I was creating Action Force. So there's something really special about this figure to me. And looking back at the early days, his file card has a different name and slightly different story than it does for the SDS release because, as I was kind of doing this, I wanted to change some things, but he was already in production. So, the Series 1 version's a tad different than the SDS version, but that's him. He was part of the original Kickstarter, one of the original 3 characters, but that's a good one. Bone Collector. Last up of the main 3 from the first Kickstarter is item number 4. This is the original Steel Brigade. It was cool being able to put Steel Brigade in the Action Force line. So I think that if I were to say a favorite of Series 1, he's definitely my number 1 favorite for Series 1. Now the cool part about the original Steel Brigade offering from Series 1 was that he came with a patch and he came with a file card that you can fill out. So here's that file card that came with it, and here's the patch that came with him as well. The cool part about this was you can go onto valaverse.com and you can actually fill this out and make a printable version of it if you didn't want to ruin this one. But it was cool because it was like a little throwback to how Steel Brigade was offered. Steel Brigade is, one of my favorites ever. So, being able to kind of give you that same sort of offering was very cool. So there you go, number 4, Steel Brigade. At number 5, we have the Swarm Trooper. This was the first figure to be unlocked after the Kickstarter. So for those of you that didn't do the Kickstarter, what happened was you did the Kickstarter. After it funded, we kept pre-orders open. And as more sales came in, we continued to unlock more items. We ended up unlocking a ton of additional items for Series 1. And the Swarm Trooper was the first one to be unlocked. So I was happy about that because very cool troop builder, very cool figure. You know, so you guys wanted him bad enough, so we got him in there. So number 5, the Swarm Trooper. Our next unlocked figure during the pre-order process is number 6, Carrick. He is the leader of the garrison, the evil army of New Colonia. So being able to have, you know, our hero Condor and our big bad Carrick was cool. Now he was, I kept telling everyone he was going to be the sleeper of the series, and it turned out that, you know, he sold out very quickly, and then we had to reissue him because, you know, people didn't get enough of him the first time around. So hopefully everyone has had a chance to get him. Maybe we'll do another version down the road. There he is, number 6, Carrick. All right, maggots. At number 7, got the man himself, Sergeant Slaughter. This was crazy when this happened. So, you know, reaching out to Sarge and telling him what I wanted to do about pitching him in Action Force as, you know, his older self, older grizzled, retired, you know, vet. He loved the idea, loved the design of the figure. So it was like really cool to get Sarge in, and it really helped put more eyes on Action Force. So I'm always indebted to Sarge for believing in what I was doing with Action Force and allowing us to, you know, include him in the line. So thank you, Sarge. But you guys love this. You love that we included Sarge in the line. It was very cool. And again, it helped really propel Action Force to more mainstream. So he came in the summer of I believe 2020 as we were in production. We were able to get Sarge included in Series 1, and he was definitely a big hitter. So there he is, number 7, Sergeant Slaughter. Coming in at number 8, we have our first exclusive item for Action Force. This was the BotCon exclusive Wasp Raider. This was such an odd and extremely popular figure. You know, the BotCon guys contacted me and said, hey, we'd love to do an exclusive for BotCon. And, you know, they pitched me some ideas, and Wasp Raider just seemed so crazy. I was like, let's do it. So those guys did a great job of sort of coming up with the idea, and then I helped, you know, refine the design of it. And it was awesome. You know, he came in slightly different packaging, different, you know, file card, you know, BotCon, you know, logos on it and stuff like that. But this one, man, this one got so popular, and this sold out extremely quickly. I believe they're kind of hard to get nowadays. But he was a fun one. You know, it was cool to do such a cool exclusive very early on. So number 8, Wasp Raider. At number 9, we had our next exclusive. This was a Valaverse exclusive. This was only sold through Valaverse.com and at conventions, only sold through us. This was the Retro Sergeant Slammer. So for those of you that don't know the original history of Action Force, when Sergeant Slaughter was included in the original Palatoy Action Force line, he something in the UK about certain words, and Slaughter was a word that they didn't approve, so they had to come up with a different name for him, and they used Sergeant Slammer. So I thought it was cool to do sort of a throwback for Sarge as he was included in the original Action Force line. So we did sort of this retro packaging and renamed him Sergeant Slammer. But you know, just a you know, crazy cool little packaging variant on him, but nonetheless very cool figure. So number 9, Sergeant Slammer. All right, number 10's a little one but a big impact. This one is the Kickstarter exclusive Gold Head Steel Brigade Commander head. So this one was offered to people that backed the Kickstarter. I believe it was for the first X amount of backers, and then it was an add-on purchase that you could purchase later. So when I was formulating this list of 100 Action Force items, it had to be an item that we had put up for sale and sold. So this was one that we did have to purchase, and it is one that people still are searching for. You know, maybe one day I'll put some up. I do maybe have a few left over, but yeah, this is the coveted Gold Head Steel Brigade Kickstarter exclusive extra head at number For items 11, 12, and 13, we had our first basic trooper offerings. We had the Special Ops Trooper, we had the Urban Trooper, and we had the Riot Trooper. This was our offering. For you customizers out there, we did, sort of like blank bodies. So this is an all-black Trooper. This was the gray and camo, and this was the, the blue Riot Trooper. But these were good because they were, a lower value, and they allowed you to then use them for customizing. So to this day, we are still doing the basic troopers. They do extremely well. You guys love them, and we've been able to get out many more color variants of them. But these were the first 3 of Series 1, items 11, 12, and 13. Items 14 and 15 are the corresponding gear packs. So we had the Riot gear and we had the Urban gear. These were gear packs just made up of vests and, thigh pouches and backpacks and guns, and these were done again for you customizers out there. Just allowed for more gear to be used for your basic troopers or your regular Action Force figures. All this gear fit all the male figures from Series 1. So it was just a way to get more variety out there for you guys. And again, something we're still doing to this day are gear packs, and they're super, super popular, and we're just doing more and more, and we're going to continue doing more and more. But these were the first original gear packs at 14 and 15. Items 16, 17, and 18 are some more gear packs that came with Series 1. First, we had the backpack set. This was cool because we were able to do 3 different styles of backpacks and offer them in 3 different colors. So you had black, tan, and OD green, and you had, a large backpack, a small backpack, and sort of a shoulder bag. And one of the cool things about the backpacks were something that came about sort of by accident on a live stream. I was doing an unboxing of some of the prototype samples that I was getting in, and at the time, the factory had not glued the back panel to the backpack because they couldn't mold it as one piece because it was so thick, and you would get, shrink issues when it was cooling in the mold. So they had they hollowed it out, and they had a black back panel that they were originally going to glue in. And someone on the stream had asked me, can anything fit in the backpack? I said, it's a good question. So we ended up taking some of the hands, we took the helmet, we took some pistols, and we were able to fit a bunch of gear in the backpacks. Obviously the larger one fits more, but the smaller one fits gear as well. So I said to the factory, do not glue the back panel. Let's put a little rib on it so that it kind of pops in place. But the backpacks do have a function, and you're able to fit gear in the backpack. So whoever had that suggestion, thank you, very early on. And now, we've got some new backpacks coming down the road, and we're gonna have that same functionality on it. It's kind of a, a staple of what came first. So those kind of cool things that happen sort of by accident, like as you're working on this stuff, is always fun. Next up, Swarm Gear Pack. This one was really fun to do. This was a gear pack designed specifically for the Swarm Troopers. It had this cool energy sort of riot shield and this wing pack, and the wings moved up and down, and it had a couple guns. So this was cool to really outfit your Swarm Trooper. Once you put all this gear on him, he really looked great. This was another one that ended up being super popular that we had to reissue down the line. And then last up is the Declassified Gear Pack. This one was sort of a funny one to do very early on. This was a Big Bad Toys exclusive. This was the first exclusive that I did for them, the first of many that we would end up doing together. It was just, some gear that maybe helped make a version of another character, but still a fun one to do. So yeah, so that is, what is that, 15, 16, 17? No, 17, 18, 19? I don't know, I lost count, guys. But these are the rest of the gear packs for Series 1. All right, here we are, the last 2 items for Series 1. We have our weapons packs. These weapons packs have certainly become a staple of the Action Force line. We started out with Alpha and Bravo, and who would have thought that I would, be so far down the alphabet now. I think we're at Hotel in Series 4. But I've been telling you guys, I'm going to get through the whole entire alphabet for these weapons packs because you guys love them. It was just boxes of guns and knives, magazines, muzzle flashes. These were always cool. Troy McKee, who does our packaging design, he does a great job with making them look like weapons crates. But these were the first 2 original weapons packs. Alpha and Bravo, rounding it out, items 19 and 20. So that is it for Series 1. Thank you guys for checking out this video. We have a long road to 100, but it is going to be exciting. We have so many more items to get through, so many more stories to tell about them. So thanks for, hanging out with us and listening to, me ramble about the first awesome series of Action Force. And hey, look forward to those additional ones we have coming down the road as we finish the road to 100 Action Force items. Thanks, guys.